What did you study in grad school?
I studied evolutionary biology, which is the science of how species develop strategies to adapt to their environment, especially when resources are scarce and when the environment changes over time. I did my PhD in France, and then I did a few postdocs at the University of Toronto, Harvard University, and the Max Planck Institute in Germany. All in all, in my research, I studied how species exchange resources and services. So organisms from different species live with each other, and they exchange resources, as I said. They live with each other. And so you can imagine that you are working for someone and they're working for you. So you provide them with a service, and in exchange, they provide you with a service. But your best interest is to work the least you can, basically being lazy, and manipulate your partner so that they will work as much as possible and you will get as much as you can from the relationship. So all in all, your best interest is to cheat. So what does it mean? It means that in general, in all like mutually beneficial interactions, your best interest is to become a parasite. Work less, make them work more. So it means that in nature, over a long time, all interactions should become parasitism. That doesn't happen. And that's more specifically what I studied. What are the mechanisms that prevents species from always cheating on each other and always becoming parasites?
All that sounds really interesting. So, what motivated you to get into this field?
So, as I said, I studied evolutionary biology for a very, very long time. And I got really motivated during my postdocs by the idea of how we can apply evolutionary biology to people and to real life challenges. And since I was working on how species exchange resources, so basically economics in nature, I got very much into economics in people, and especially behavioral economics. So I was doing behavioral studies in animals and in plants, and I transposed that to people. The best way I found to do that was to get into behavioral economics. So I read a few books, I read papers, and over time I looked into opportunities to really apply behavioral science to people.
So, is there someone's research that you're particularly interested in?
Yes, I'm very interested in research of Tomer Chachkes. He is a professor at University of Regensburg, and he studies comparative psychology and comparative behavioral economics. So what it means is that he studies the same as what we do at BEworks, but in ants. And so far, through his research, he's been able to, and his team has been able to demonstrate that the same basic principle of what was described in behavioral economics over the past 30 years in people, like, let's say, prospect theory, laws of aversion, uncertainty aversion, all those mechanisms, they hold true for invertebrates and they hold true in ants. And something that I find amazing is, for example, his study about the IKEA effect. So the IKEA effect is the phenomenon where you would value more something that you built yourself. That is true in ants as well. The more ants work to get their food, the more they value this food.